Andrew Urquhart with you on the program today. And, well, my pleasure to welcome back to the program my Aussie correspondent, Craig Heilmann, who is, back in the home country, back in New Zealand. Welcome home, my brother.
Back on the sacred land, mate.
and apparently is a little bit of a mission to get here. I mean...
Yeah, 2 days of travel. Can you believe it? To get from Noosa to Auckland, it's unbelievable. Big storm in southeast Queensland, changes of flights. Air New Zealand tipped me off, threw me out. I had to go get a hotel overnight. Had to go to Sydney the next day to fly. Car broke down when I got here, mate. It was everything. It's all on. But I'm here. I'm here.
Trains and boats and automobiles, etc. Honestly, next time, just 501 it, mate. You'll get VIP treatment all the way home.
That's it. That's it.
Hey, a story out of Australia, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. Your Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese's, bought a new house, and that in itself isn't that extraordinary, although the price tag is pretty eye-watering. I mean, when our Prime Minister got in trouble for selling a house, your Prime Minister's in trouble for buying one, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, can Albo do anything else but wrong stuff? I mean, the guy just seems so out of touch, you know. He presents himself as the man of the people. You know, he grew up in a housing department home and his mum was on the benefit and all the rest of it, and he's the man of the people and he's for the poor and all the rest of it. His best friends are all CEOs. He just bought a $4.3 million mansion, ocean clifftop mansion on the northern coast of New South Wales, north of Sydney, for $4.3 million. And the poor people who sold it to him bought it for $4.65. And some people are saying, well, Albo's inflation crisis that he's created by spending too much has caused the interest rates to remain high, which means these poor people have lost 350 grand selling their house to Albo.
Wow. Hey,
he's done it within months of an election, mate. It's just eye-opening, really.
Hey, maybe he's looking for a place to retire to when he's no longer the Prime Minister, although you missed out the best detail of this, because I never go past an opportunity for a Barry Manilow quote. Her name was Lola. She was a showgirl. She had feathers in her hair and a dress cut down to there. She also wanted to marry the Prime Minister. This particular house is in Copacabana, no less, not in Rio. But there's a place called Copacabana, no doubt named after the Barry Manilow song in Australia.
Copacabana Beach, mate. You know, which is, it's crazy. It's in months of an election, really. And, you know, people that are eating up the financial crisis in Australia at the moment with cost of living are looking at Albo going, man, when did you stop being the man of the people? By the way, Albo owns 5 homes. Yeah. He's going to sell one to buy this one. So he's doing it tough like everybody else. He's
he's going to need to sell one of his other homes.
Back to the wall, mate.
I heard a story, though, that this is his fiancée. Do you know if they're getting married before or after the election, or she'll see how it goes?
It'll be before, because they need all the help they can get with Newsweek or Women's Day or one of those. They're going to need all the help they get. I mean, look, it worked for Jacinda, didn't it?
We'll get a stars tour of the new house in Copacabana as well, and apparently that's the neck of the woods she's from. Apparently
that's where she's from. Yeah, that's where she's from. So
she didn't grow up on the rough side.
Maybe he's reading the tea leaves, by the way, and realises I'm going to need another gig after this Prime Minister thing doesn't work out. Yeah. And it might be that this is not going to work out. So it could be that Albo's already sort of plotting his demise.
I think maybe a Barry Manilow impersonator. That could be the next career for your Prime Minister.
It could be.
Recommend it to, you know, I'm happy to recommend that one. Hey, wanting to look at a serious issue, though, because, moving that to one side, some shocking statistics from Australia, which says that 1 in 5 Australian women aged 15 or older have been stalked. That's pretty scary.
Yeah, it's crazy, eh? And look, our abuse stats are even worse. I mean, there's about 2 million Australians that have actually been sexually assaulted.
Wow.
And so obviously most of those are going to be women. It's stunning, Andrew, statistics in Australia, and it just shows we live in a very violent, very aggressive and not a very nice society at many levels. I mean, that's an astonishing number. There's only 28 million people living in Australia. 2 million of them have said they've been sexually assaulted. 1 in 5 at the moment say they've been stalked. Yeah. That's girls older than 15. So that's just women, 15 and older, 1 in 5.
Wow.
It's astonishing, scary, and, you know, a lot of those things do lead to sexual assault, so it's incredible.
Yeah, no, that is really scary stuff. And hey, for some young women in Australia, the scariest thing in Australia is an Australian male, not the other things that can attack you, right? So, I mean, I suppose if we take anything from this, though, at least this is being reported, that this is a problem which is being addressed and saying, hey, you know what, this is unacceptable, we need to do something about it.
Yeah, so we need big cultural change, and obviously it's conversion of hearts. People just need to, become better human beings, and the way we do that, obviously, is reach out to God for help and pull on that chain. And but look, at the end of the day, it's scary, it's frightening, and but women are coming forward, and look, there's a big push now against violence against women in Australia, and that's really important. I think it's a horrible disease in a society, and it's unforgivable, really. But yeah, men have to change. They have to become their best selves, not their worst selves.
And hey, as you and I can attest to, God's all about the redemption story, so there's hope for all of us in that regard. I wanted to end with an interesting story which may encourage a few people listening to this at the moment to go to the dentist, because you never know what happens. There's a pensioner in Australia who possibly has more in terms of millions of Australian dollars than he has teeth now. What's the story here, Craig?
Well, this is a story about how you reward yourself after you go to the dentist. Now, I usually reward myself by going to the lolly shop, but apparently a better plan is to buy a lotto ticket, because someone won 8 million big ones after going to the dentist, decided to go buy a lotto ticket, and next thing they knew, they were out for a coffee with their wife. They got a call. Unbelievable, $8 million better off, a 70-odd-year-old pensioner.
Wow.
Not sure what they're going to do with it, but they are going to buy a new car, Andrew. So that's good for the economy.
And perhaps also, I don't know, a clifftop mansion owned by a former Prime Minister at the Copacabana. I mean, that would be a great place for him to retire to with all of his millions. And
he could afford to pay more than $4.3 million, couldn't
he? Good news for the Prime Minister. The price is going up all the time.
Price is going up.
Craig, wonderful to have you back on this side of the Tasman. But, hey, thanks for what you do. Thanks for joining us today.
Bless you, mate. Good to see you again. Cheers.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.